Want to thank you for joining us in the 11 Breaking News Center this afternoon. I'm Lauren Watson, your digital anchor here at KKTV 11 News. Big news today. The Broncos have announced that they are going to release quarterback Russell Wilson. Here to join me and talk a little bit about that is 11 Sports' Corey Roldan. Now, Corey, why? Why is this happening today? Why is this happening at all?
Well, I think we all saw this coming, and that's ever since Russ wouldn't adjust his injury guarantee back in the week 9 of the season. The Broncos wanted him to do that, threatening to bench him, and then actually benching him back in December. And truth is, Sean Payton wasn't married to Russell Wilson. He didn't trade all those picks, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, all those players, gave him $255 million contract. That wasn't Sean Payton. He didn't feel like Russell Wilson really fit his scheme. He didn't feel like Russ got the ball out quick enough. You remember earlier in the season, Russell Wilson struggled with the plays. They had to get a wristband for his plays, and then Russ kept taking sacks and having negative plays, and all that led to the releasing of Russell Wilson, which will not happen until March 13th. That's the start of the new league year. That's when the Broncos will release Russell Wilson and begin looking for their next quarterback, which could be a lot of players, especially in the NFL draft.
Well, Corey, that kind of leads into my next question. I know based on conversations around here, we've kind of been seeing the writings on the wall for Russ for a little bit now, but looking forward, I think, is the big focus probably today. Looking forward, who do you think the Broncos have their eye on to replace Russell?
Well, they interviewed 8 quarterbacks at the NFL Combine, one including J.J. McCarthy, who a lot of experts have tied to the Broncos at either number 12 or even trading up. They also interviewed Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix from Oregon, and Michael Penix from Washington, all really good prospects. The Broncos are going to select a quarterback, I believe, in the first round, and that player is who Sean Payton's going to be tied to. I also think they will bring in a veteran, either Jimmy Garoppolo or an older quarterback to try to compete with a rookie that they try to draft and bring in. But whoever they select in the draft, it's going to be tied to Sean Payton. And Coach Payton's known as this quarterback guru. He found Tony Romo when he was in Dallas as an undrafted free agent from Eastern Illinois. We all know what he did with Drew Brees, making him a Hall of Fame quarterback. But drafting-wise, Sean hasn't been that great at drafting quarterbacks. His last 2 draft picks were Ian Book from Notre Dame in the 4th round in 2021. He was cut from the Saints after 2 years. And then there was Garrett Grayson, who we all know well here in Colorado, from Colorado State. He was drafted in 2013. He was cut a year later as well. Broncos not great at drafting quarterbacks. Drew Lock was selected in the 2nd round. He was traded away in that Russell Wilson trade. And then we had Paxton Lynch, who lasted, 2 years in the NFL, drafting him in the 1st round back in 2016. So just because you draft a quarterback, Lauren, doesn't mean it's a guarantee. But Sean Payton is confident he's going to find their guy, and this draft is loaded at the quarterback position.
You know, Corey, what sort of long-term effects do you think that this will have on the Broncos as a team?
Well, you already saw it with trading 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round picks, a young quarterback, and Drew Lock. But now with that $255 million contract, a lot of dead cap space coming Denver's way. Next year, $35.4 million of dead cap space. So what does that mean? That means the Broncos are still paying for Russell Wilson, although he's not on the team. The following year, Lauren, $50 million. That's 20% of the team's total salary cap going to Russell Wilson. He's not even on the team next year or the year after that. But the good news is, Lauren, come 2026, those numbers are going to be off the books, and Broncos going to be potentially ready to go with a young quarterback. But this is going to take some time. I don't expect a young player just to come in here and just compete for a division title, especially with Patrick Mahomes in the same division.
Now, Corey, I want to give those watching on Facebook a second to put any questions they might have for you in the comments, but I guess, what do you think are the Broncos' hopes moving forward from this decision?
Well, they're trying to find a young quarterback that fits Sean Payton's scheme. What is that? He wants an athletic quarterback. Yes, Russ was athletic, but he wants a quarterback that gets the ball out of his hands quick. Remember Drew Brees, 1, 2, 3, find the open receiver, be able to process defenses quickly, right? You see a cover 3 defense, where's the open gap into space? And I really believe, although a lot of people don't like J.J. McCarthy because his stats aren't great, J.J. McCarthy is the guy because he gets the ball out quick, he stands in the pocket, he takes pressure, he's athletic enough, and he's a winner and he's a leader. We already saw that at Michigan where he won a national title.
Now, with the quarterback position kind of up in the air right now, I'm assuming no real solid heavy predictions for next season can be made right now.
No, it's way too early, Lauren. Defensively, we saw improvements with the secondary and Justin Simmons, but I'm going to throw this at you. Pat Surtain, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, coming up on a contract extension. You're going to have to pay him. And if you want to trade up and potentially, say if you need to trade up to get McCarthy, or you want Drake May or Jaden Daniels, you're going to have to give up Pat Surtain. He's your biggest piece right there. I wouldn't do that. But with this team, the pass rush is young. Linebackers are okay. O-line was improved. What are you going to do with Jerry Jeudy? That's a question mark, especially his production dropping. Running back position's really a question mark. There's a lot of question marks on this team. I think they overexceeded 8-9 last year. Next year with a young quarterback, I really don't know what to expect from this Denver Broncos team.
Well, Corey, it looks like we're going to start wrapping up here. I know you have more in sports at 10 tonight. What do you plan on focusing on in that sportscast tonight?
Well, kind of what we were talking about. Why did the Broncos cut Russell Wilson? Why couldn't Sean Payton make it work? And look, Russ's stats were fine. You know, he had 26 touchdowns, I believe 8 interceptions. It's a good ratio right there. But the offense was just inconsistent, right? The offense wasn't great. And 11 wins under Russell Wilson in 2 years for a $255 million contract ain't cutting it. We're also going to have Avs versus Blackhawks highlights as well.
Awesome. I guess before we go today, Corey, big word in my vocabulary, big word in vocabulary across the room is era right now. Does this feel like the end of an era for the Broncos?
There was no era with this. The Russell Wilson era didn't exist because you won 11 football games. You won 5 games 2 years ago, and then, well, you win 8 games this year, but some of those wins, Russ didn't start at the end of the year. This wasn't a Russell Wilson era, right? You didn't do anything. You didn't win anything. This is just moving on from a bad decision, one of the worst decisions in NFL history for how much they gave up, how much the dead cap space. It's one of the worst decisions in NFL history. So I wouldn't say this is an era of football. I believe they draft a young quarterback. That begins the era because you start that process.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, Corey, so much for chatting with me this afternoon about this real big news out of Denver today. Again, like Corey said, he'll have more in his sportscast tonight at 10. You can watch that on Channel 11 or on kktv.com or any of our streaming apps.